What is good, YouTube, and welcome back to a brand new video. So literally, as I was about to sit down and record a video, we got news that the Indianapolis Colts have given Jonathan Taylor permission to go out and seek a trade, which sounds like the Colts may be ready to move on from Jonathan Taylor after all of the news and reports we got about, Jim Irsay versus Jonathan Taylor this offseason. So today we're going to be jumping into Madden 24, and we're going to be doing a Trading Jonathan Taylor Indianapolis Colts rebuild. Before we get into today's video, make sure you guys drop a like on this one and subscribe if you are new to this channel. As always, greatly appreciate it. Also have a football podcast. Link to that channel is down in the description below. It's with three of my friends. We actually have an episode dropping tonight if you want to go check it out. But as I said, literally, I was about to record a Madden rebuild, and I got some material to do a video on. Jonathan Taylor has requested he already requested a trade weeks ago, but obviously Jim Irsay immediately shut it down and said, no way are we trading Jonathan Taylor. And now it has come out that the Colts have given him permission to seek a trade. So we'll see what team ends up trading for him if he does get traded. Sometimes these things don't really happen and you don't get traded, or Jonathan Taylor may not get traded anyway. But I do have a fun team in mind that I think would be super fun if they did trade for Jonathan Taylor. I'm not saying they're going to, but we are going to go ahead and start this video with a Jonathan Taylor trade, since this is going to be a Trading Jonathan Taylor Indianapolis Colts rebuild. So basically, obviously, I'm going to try to compare this trade to maybe what CMC kind of went for last year and try to determine, running backs don't really go for first round picks. It's just kind of the reality of the situation. We all know what running backs are being treated like this offseason, and how upset running backs are at the moment. But a team that I actually love to potentially go trade for Jonathan Taylor is actually the team we're looking at on the right. It's the Chicago Bears. Imagine if the Bears paired Jonathan Taylor, Justin Fields, and DJ Moore. That sounds like so much fun. Now, will the Bears do it? Do they have any incentive to go out there and do something like this? Probably not, but it is just such a fun trio to think about. They're all still relatively young, and they could all just wreak havoc in the NFC North. That would just be so much fun. So the idea of the trade that I kind of have, there's some other teams you can think about, like the Dolphins, of course, don't really have a certified running back right now. The Bears, in my mind, are kind of in that same boat where they have Khalil Herbert, who I think has talent, and then you have Rashawn Johnson and Deontay Foreman. But obviously, as I said, we're going to be trading Jonathan Taylor here. Zach Moss is the other running back we have. And if we trade Jonathan Taylor, we have a glaring hole at the running back spot. So what I want to try to do is convince the Bears to throw me Khalil Herbert. Now, will Khalil Herbert become a franchise running back for us? He may not, but he's still only 25 years old. So CMC went for a second, a third, and a fourth, and another fourth. So if we're getting Khalil Herbert, you can maybe say Khalil Herbert maybe worth 2 fourth-round picks. Hypothetically, maybe you could argue he's I can't get on the boat if he's worth a third. So let's say it's Herbert as those 2 fourth-rounders, and then you have a second and a third coming back. Now, maybe it's a second in next year's draft and a third-round pick in 2025 or something like that to kind of space it out. That way the Bears aren't absolutely just going all in on Jonathan Taylor as a running back position. As we know, the value is just super depleted. So I feel like Jonathan Taylor for Herbert, a second and a third, could be a decent return. Let me know what you guys think. Just keep in mind that the running back position's value right now is just at an all-time low with what's been going on this offseason. So I'm going to go ahead and send this over to the Bears and see what they say. So they go ahead and accept this. We get Khalil Herbert as a bridge running back for us. Maybe he pops up and turns into something else for us. And we get a second in next year's draft and a third-round pick in 2025. I feel pretty good about that return. So I'm going to go ahead and feel really good about that return. If I'm the Colts, we get a bridge running back and a second and the third for Jonathan Taylor, who wanted a big contract. We don't have to pay him. We can see what Khalil Herbert does for 2 years, and then we'll, obviously reevaluate the running back position in 2 years. Running backs are easy to find, as it seems. So this is what our lineup is looking like going into year number 1. Of course, the big mystery right now is Anthony Richardson. What is he going to be able to do his rookie year with Khalil Herbert now, Michael Pittman, Isaiah McKenzie, Alec Pierce? You have the rookie Joshua Downs down here. Offensive line is looking pretty good. Jelani Woods is the tight end right now. And then on the defense side of the football, you have Blackman, Franklin, Speed, the veteran Shaquille Leonard, Cross, Brents, Kenny Moore, Samson, DeForest Buckner, Stewart, Kwity Paye. So there's still some very good pieces on this Colts team. I'm just not sure they're a bona fide playoff team because of how stacked the AFC is, not just the division, even though, yeah, so it's just a tough AFC conference, obviously. So we're going to go ahead and just similar year number 1. I'm going to change this scheme real quick just to try to make things as best as I can for Anthony Richardson's development this year. So we'll go ahead and see how that goes. I'll see you guys at the end of year number 1. Jonathan Taylor has been traded away, and we can go ahead and see what we're going to be able to do without him going forward. And if you guys want to see me do the other side of this rebuild with the Bears, and get Jonathan Taylor, I think that could actually be really fun. So let me know if you guys want to see that. So at the end of year number 1, we finish up at 6-11. We finish up 3rd in the AFC South. So unfortunately, we didn't make the playoffs this year, but that didn't really matter too much. The main thing I was concerned about is how good was Anthony Richardson going to be in year 1. So we got to take a look at that and kind of evaluate how we're going to treat this quarterback position going forward. So offense was 24th in the NFL, and then Richardson threw 24 touchdowns. On the defense side of the football, we are 13th in the NFL. So top 15 defense, we'll take that. But Anthony Richardson, 24 touchdowns and 30 interceptions. That is like a Jameis Winston type stat line. You don't love to see that. But didn't Peyton Manning throw like a ton of interceptions his rookie year as well? So maybe it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, that's not pretty to start year 1. Khalil Herbert, though, did crack 1,000 yards. So he was a good bridge running back for us. Richardson had 500 yards and 11 touchdowns from Herbert as well. Receiving-wise, Michael Pittman, 947 yards. McKenzie, 790. Pierce with 627. And Johnny Woods with 587. So nothing to write home about. Obviously, Anthony Richardson rookie year wasn't the greatest in the world, but hopefully we can bounce back his sophomore year. Sometimes rookies struggle. It's just how it happens. You've seen guys like Josh Allen struggle his first couple years, and then when you get a good offensive coordinator and a really good wide receiver coming in, then things just start to blossom. So I'm not going to just give up on Anthony Richardson right away. He still threw 24 touchdowns. We just need to bring down the turnovers, obviously. So that's the main thing we need to focus on going forward, is just seeing how we can maximize Anthony Richardson. So obviously we're going to start with the resigning stage like usual, see who we need to resign, see who we need to maybe cut, trade away. There is still like a window, I feel like, for this team to make the playoffs, but then there's still like some veterans that they could trade away for like draft picks and go kind of full on rebuild if they wanted to. So like the Colts are kind of in an interesting spot. But we take a look at the 16 players who need to be renegotiated to bring them back. You have Michael Pittman at the top. So he is a certified free agent, 26 years old, 6'4". I think having a tall wide receiver like Michael Pittman does have some value. Kenny Moore, he is 29 years old, but I think it would suck to let him walk for nothing, so I definitely have interest in bringing him back. Kwity Paye, that's a 5th-year option. To me, that's a no-brainer. We're bringing him back, 25 years old. Grover Stewart, 30. Julian Blackman actually cracked superstar development, and he's 26. I think we're bringing him back. I do like Isaiah McKenzie. He is 29, though, so we may move on from him, and then the rest of these guys I'm not too concerned about. So let's go ahead and start at the top. So I think we do bring Michael Pittman back. Even if we don't plan on using him as our wide receiver 1, I think having him as a tall wide receiver 2 is still very, very valuable. So I'm going to go ahead, try to bring him back. He does accept the first offer, and then we're going to go for Kenny Moore as well. I don't want to let Kenny Moore walk for nothing. So we're going to go ahead and give him like a 2-year deal to bring him back. 29 years old. Our cornerback position is pretty depleted as it is, but Kenny Moore says, I'm not interested in signing. So that's a tough fork in the road. Do I franchise tag him for $24 million? I think that's a little too expensive in my mind. So we're going to try for Grover Stewart instead and see if we can bring him back. Then maybe we can convince Kenny Moore to come back in free agency. So we'll revisit him maybe in free agency. Blackman, though, 26, 77 overall superstar development. I am going to try to bring him back since he unlocked superstar this year. So he is going to accept it. So we get our free safety back, which is nice. And then we have $45 million left still in cap space. I'm going to let the rest of these guys go. And we're going to go take a look if there's some guys we need to cut, trade away, whatever we need to do in order to maximize our ability of having a bright future going forward. So one of the Vikings' top needs right now is a D tackle, and DeForest Buckner being 30 years old, he's on the last year of his deal. I feel like trading DeForest Buckner right now and capitalizing on like a 2nd-round pick makes a ton of sense for a team that may not be going anywhere anytime soon. So we're going to go ahead and send this over, and we are going to get a 2nd-round pick for DeForest Buckner. As I said, he's 30 years old. He's on the last year of his deal. We just re-signed Grover Stewart, obviously, so it maybe could have made sense to keep DeForest Buckner on the team as well, but I think capitalizing on his value now made a ton of sense. We could just keep this youth movement going with what we have right now. So we've traded away Jonathan Taylor in the first part of the video, and now DeForest Buckner. We are attacking free agency with a heavy hand. So this is the 5 targets we have set in mind right now. So Gabe Davis as a young wide receiver to give Anthony Richardson more help would be amazing. Kenny Moore right now, we obviously want to get him back. Our cornerback position depleted as it is. Isaiah Simmons as a talent that we could bring in and be our immediately starting strong safety. Obviously very versatile as well. Devin White as our starting middle linebacker on day 1 would be amazing. Cesar Ruiz, but we have some competition there. So I'm trying to get all 5 of these guys. I think bringing all 5 of these guys in would immediately help our team in the best way possible. So I'm going to offer up on Devin White maybe just a little bit more because I would love Devin White at 26 years old. I think he makes a ton of sense. And we're also going into the draft with 2 extra 2nd-round picks. So we're in a really good spot if we can execute properly in this offseason. But Detroit might beat me out for Cesar Ruiz. I'm going to go ahead and offer more because I do want to fill this right guard spot and not have to worry about it in the draft. But we'll see if I can get him. So Gabe Davis, Kenny Moore, Isaiah Simmons, Devin White, and Cesar Ruiz. We may not get him, but hey, if we can get the other 4, I'll be very, very happy with that. So we actually only get, okay, so we got Isaiah Simmons and Devin White. So we got both of them, which is great. Gabe Davis and Kenny Moore, and then Cesar Ruiz. So they're still thinking about it, but I'm going to offer more for Kenny Moore because losing him would actually suck really badly. We're still going to need a drafted corner despite, obviously signing Kenny Moore back, if we can get him back, that is. But we're still going to need to draft one. I think Cesar Ruiz is going to be too far gone to get, but we'll see if he still signs with us regardless. And we are going to get Gabe Davis, Kenny Moore. We did not get Cesar Ruiz, which I figured would be the case. I don't think there's another guard here we can sign. I guess we have like Dalton Reisner, Dodson at 27, or Moody. And then on the other side, you have Trey Turner. So yeah, I mean, we could still get a left guard from free agency. Also tight ends, you have like Gerald Everett, Noah Font, or no, he got signed. I could have maybe went for him, but we can draft a tight end in the draft. That's totally fine with me. So I'm going to try to get Dotson here to bring him on the other side. That way we can just fill this guard position before the draft. That way Anthony Richardson is totally protecting the offensive line. We got Gabe Davis and Pittman as a duo now. And of course, we still have Josh Downs as another guy. So if we can get Dotson here to finish this free agency, we got him. So just like that, we attack free agency in the best way that we could after trading Buckner and of course, Jonathan Taylor. But there's more to fill. There's way more positions we still need to address through the draft, which we have all the draft capital in the world to do that. We should have a high draft pick as well. So we should be in a good spot. Richardson, despite the struggles in his rookie year, 75 overall. Khalil Herbert, 78. We may still draft a running back. We'll see. Joshua Downs is a third wide receiver. I don't hate. Jelani Woods. How old is Jelani Woods? I'm not totally sure. Is he young? He is 25. So we could just roll forward with him. He's still a young tight end that could, grow with Anthony Richardson. So we might just roll with him. But on the other side of the ball, we've got Devin White. We still need to get a D tackle to, of course, replace that for DeForest Buckner. That's going to be the number one need. And I love the Isaiah Simmons pickup. So I will see you guys on draft night. I think we did pretty good in free agency. We have to attack the draft as well and hopefully get better there. So we're going into this draft with the 7th overall pick, and then we have 3 seconds and 1/3. So we should be able to do pretty good in the draft as long as we select correctly. So obviously, the one thing we need to get in this draft is a D tackle. 100%. We traded DeForest Buckner. You got to find his replacement. So hopefully we can find a D tackle value in the draft, but we'll see if that ends up occurring. I wouldn't mind grabbing another tight end in this draft as well. There's a corner for sure as well. So let's go ahead and see what's going to fall to us at pick number 7 and what talent will be here. So at pick number 7, let's see what's here. So a corner goes off the board. I wouldn't have minded taking a corner pretty early because, Kenny Moore's only on a 1-year deal right now, and he's a veteran. But we have a wide receiver, which, I don't really need tackles. There's a bunch of tackles on the board, a linebacker, a quarterback. There's a bunch of tackles. So this is a very heavy tackle class. I mean, technically speaking, could grab a tackle, but I just don't think that's necessary. So I don't know. With the 7th overall pick, I don't really want to use it on a tackle. I wouldn't mind just absolutely attacking a wide receiver as well. Just absolutely getting as much help as possible with Anthony Richardson. So we may just go that route unless that there's like a D tackle. I don't want to reach down that far, which is my problem. So maybe we just absolutely just attack the wide receiver position and give Anthony Richardson as many weapons as possible. So you know what? I think that's what we're going to do. With our 7th overall selection, we are going to take Geo Harper out of Arkansas. B catching traffic. B release, or I don't even know what that last stat was, to be honest with you. But I'm going to draft Geo Harper here. He's going to be a hidden development playmaker at 5'11", so he may be playing in the slot next to Pittman and Gabe Davis. But I still feel like that was the best way we could have gone about that. So I'm feeling pretty good about that pick. So round 2, pick number 7. Let's go ahead and see if we can. So a D tackle goes off the board if we pick. Man, that sucks. So Deontay Hood, I don't know how good he would have been, but I would have loved to have selected him. So we have another tackle, another strong safety. We just got strong safety, so I don't really want to go that. So is there a D tackle anywhere? There's a tight end right here with Marquise Reese. I could reach down for him. Where are the D tackles? I could just, obviously scroll to defensive tackles, but let's see what we got over here. So we got round 3 to... Oh, this is not the draft class for D tackles, man. Wow. Maybe we trade for one because I just don't feel like I can feel good about, obviously, trading away Buckner and not finding his replacement. So what I want to do with this pick, though, is the question. I think we might reach down for a tight end, or what we could do is, I don't know when we pick next, but maybe we use this first, 2nd round pick for a young D tackle prospect. So we get the pick at 16. Maybe we try our luck and see if we have that tight end fall to us in our next 2nd round pick. But I might try to trade this one and the other 2nd for like a good D tackle. Maybe we do that. So we send the trade over to the Green Bay Packers, and we're getting Kenny Clark from the Green Bay Packers. We're trading 2 2nd-round picks, and then we're getting a 6, or also giving them a 6 and a 7. So obviously the 6th and the 7th really isn't going to matter too much, but a 2 2nd-round picks for Kenny Clark is the trade we make. I said I wanted to find a D tackle replacement. We did. Kenny Clark is 2 years younger than Buckner, so it's not like a crazy difference, but still, I still feel pretty good about getting rid of Buckner and then netting, obviously, a second and Kenny Clark. So let's go ahead and see what we can get with this second round pick, and then we'll go from here. So you can argue we turned that Jonathan Taylor pick into Kenny Clark, but still, you get the point. So tight end Marquise Reese is still here, so I'm going to go ahead and take him. So we got as much help as possible, I believe, for our boy Anthony Richardson, and he's going to be a hidden development tight end in round 2. So I think we did pretty good in this draft. I'm feeling pretty confident about how we did, and we can make our last selection in round 3, pick number 7. But we're kind of playing the middle ground still, where we're like still trying to rebuild, but also still trying to compete, which may not be the best direction to go in. It's kind of hard to play the middle. In the NFL, it's easier. In the NBA, it's like just so bad to do. But in the NFL, you can kind of do it as long as you have like good quarterback play. So I said I needed another corner, so that is what we're going to do in the 3rd round. I forgot to draft a corner. So Quentin Ash, welcome to the Colts. He's only normal development, so he may not be the perfect replacement for Kenny Moore next year, but he'll be depth if nothing else, and we might have to sign a corner next year. But still, welcome to the team. That was our draft. Let's go look at the lineup after what we did in this offseason. So lineup going into season number 2 is looking like this: Gabe Davis, Khalil Herbert, Richardson, Michael Pittman. Obviously, our 7th overall pick was Harper. Offensive line is still looking good. We drafted a tight end as well behind Jelani Woods. On the defense side of the football, we attacked free agency. We traded for Kenny Clark. And I feel like we're still on a very good team. Now, cornerback, the guy we drafted was a 68 overall, so we still need to attack corner. We should have done a better job of trying to get a corner. We got Kenny Moore back, which is great, but I'm hoping for a better year 2 out of Anthony Richardson. That's what we need to see the most. Anthony Richardson, I need you to have a better year 2. 24 touchdowns, 30 interceptions is just not going to cut it. So hopefully this year he brings down the turnovers and we just have a much better year, more efficient, and we make it to the playoffs potentially. We may not, but I would just love to see a better year, more efficient year out of Richardson, if nothing else. At the end of this season, we finished up at 9-8, but unfortunately, that is not good enough to make the playoffs. 9-8 is still much better than last year, but as I said, finishing up 3rd in the AFC South, it does not get you a playoff spot. Over 500, as I said, that's great to see improvement, but it's just not playoff material. Just not this year. But next year, we should be in there. Hopefully, that's what we want to see. So offensively, 32nd in the NFL. So it wasn't because of the offense that we went 9-8. Defensively, it was top 5. So Richardson, 21-16. Okay, I mean, the turnovers came down, but the touchdowns also came down. That's still not great to see 16 interceptions, though. Khalil Herbert with 8 touchdowns, 938 yards. So Anthony Richardson also had 413 yards. So it looks like he's just a turnover machine, I guess. J.O. Harper, drafted him with the 7th overall pick, turned into 788 yards. He's superstar X Factor. So yeah, that's amazing. So we drafted, or rare achievement unlocked, future of the franchise. So we got ourselves a really good wide receiver there, which you love to see. And then sacks wise, you had 8 from Kwity Paye, 7.5 from Clark, 6, and then interceptions, you had 3 from Leonard, 2 from Kenny Moore, 2 from Brents, 1 from Devin White, 1 from Simmons, and 1 from Blackman, and 1 from Nick Cross. So we have more work to do. As you can see, the offense still was not good enough. It might just be as simple as a playbook change. That worked last time. I think the very first rebuild with Jordan Love, or maybe it wasn't Jordan Love, it was somebody else, but somebody was just not doing very well. Maybe it was Sam Howell. I can't remember, but there was a young quarterback I was using, and he just was not doing good until I changed the playbook, and then just had like an amazing 3rd season. So that might be what we do for Anthony Richardson here to help him improve in year 3. Although year 1, year 2 improvement was better as far as turnovers are concerned. So Kenny Clark is a free agent, so I guess we traded for a guy who was going to be a free agent, which makes sense why he was maybe available. Kenny Moore is up to superstar development. He's an 83 overall. Khalil Herbert, Zaire Franklin, so Ryan Kelly is pretty important. So yeah, we definitely have some important free agents here. So of course, let's start with Kenny Clark. I just made the big trade for him, so it wouldn't make any sense to let him go. So we're going to try to bring him back to keep him next to our man Grover Stewart. So let's get Kenny Clark back on the team. So we got him on the team, and now we can try to resign Kenny Moore. Now, with resigning Kenny Moore, I still want to try to get a good corner on top of Kenny Moore, and this time he is going to resign again, so we get him back once again. Khalil Herbert's done a decent enough job, so I'm fine with just bringing him back at 27. Even if he's not the running, maybe he's the backup running back, we'll get a different running back. And then I want Ryan Kelly back 100%. Centers at 32 years old, it's not terrible, so we'll bring him back. And I think we're also going to come out here and restructure some contracts as well, potentially. So Zaire Franklin, I think we can find better than him, so we're going to go ahead and just let him go. So now we're going to free agency with $24 million in cap space. But as I said, I'm going to see if I can restructure some contracts to maybe free up some money here to get us some more money going to this free agency, because I know I want another corner 100%. I think it's the number one thing I want to try to attack is a good corner. So savings, let's see. So we got Gabe Davis, we got Kenny Clark, Quinn Nelson. So I'm going to restructure Quinn Nelson. That's going to free up $7 million. So that's going to be great. So Nelson, we restructure that. Kenny Clark we just signed, so that wouldn't make any sense. Michael Pittman will free up $4 million. So we'll do that. So it's an extra $11 million we can use. And then Devin White or Shaquille Leonard. Shaquille Leonard would free up $9 million. So let's go ahead and do that. So that is going to be a decent amount of cap space we just opened up by restructuring contracts. Still a W feature added by EA. I'm just going to go ahead and give them their credit for it. But they still have much, you know, there's still other things they still need to work on, like their servers sometimes not working. But let's go to free agency. Let's see if we can get a good corner. Maybe we can get a good running back as well. That's not, you know, Khalil Herbert. We'll see. We'll see what's there. So the three guys we're going for in free agency is first up is Dre Greenlaw. I want Dre Greenlaw so bad. I feel like having Greenlaw, Devin White, and Shaquille Leonard would be like the best three linebackers you could possibly have in our scheme right now. So I would love Greenlaw. Kareem Hunt is a backup running back. There's no like certified good running back. And then Jonathan Jones, kind of similar to Kareem Hunt. There's no like really good corner or running back in this free agency class. But my main priority right now is I want Dre Greenlaw so bad. It's not even funny. Now, right now we're only his third offer. And I've tried to offer him like so much money. It's not working. He's like the #1 guy I just want right now. Like I want him so bad. It's literally not even funny. So I'm going to go ahead and try to up the offer like crazy. And it may be a lot of money, but we're going all in right now on Dre Greenlaw. If it's an overpay, I don't care. I want him. So he is still not going to move. We got to try to just pay him as, I mean, do we just like absolutely just blow him out of the water? So let's up this money as much as possible. If it has to be a 6-year deal, I don't care. We may only be doing one more season anyway. So let's offer this as much as we possibly can. Is this an overpay? Abso-freaking-lutely, but I want him, and he would be amazing as a linebacker. For the long-term future, this would be such a terrible idea, but we're still not even his #1 offer. So there's a good chance he doesn't sign with us, but I put in a really good offer for him. Greenlaw, I would absolutely love you. Big spender. Did we get him? We got him. Dre Greenlaw comes. Win a free agent bidding war for a 90+ overall player. So we got an achievement on top of that. I feel fantastic. Let's go. So Dre Greenlaw is an Indianapolis Colt. Yes, that was a lot of money to spend. Overpay, absolutely. But I'm trying to get our team to the Super Bowl next year. So Richardson, it has not shown the ability to be that guy. But, you know, I think Josh Allen in like the 3rd year got it figured out. If it wasn't the 3rd year, it was the 4th year. So I think Richardson could do a similar thing. We changed the playbook. He's got all the weapons in the world he could possibly want. 2 tight ends, Kareem Hunt, Khalil Herbert, Gabe Davis, Pierce, Harper, Pittman. So on the defense side of football, we have Greenlaw, Devin White, Shaquille Leonard. I mean, Kenny Moore, Jonathan Jones. It could be better if we had like a #1 corner, like a really good #1 corner, but it's all good. So I feel good. I don't care about the draft at this point. I'm going straight into next season. You see what the lineup looks like. I will see you guys at the end of year 3. I'm going to be changing the playbook to the Kansas City Chiefs to see if that changes anything for us, because when the quarterback doesn't play well, I'm going to just do it every time because I feel like it's just a cheat code that works. So I will see you guys at the end of next season, where hopefully draft goes well for us. We're adding more through the draft, and we should be a playoff team, if not a Super Bowl team contender, or Super Bowl contender, in my opinion. So at the end of the 3rd season, we finished up at 11-6, and we finally made the playoffs. So obviously, all the hard work we've done to rebuild this team has finally come to fruition. 11-6, we went all in on free agency that very first year, then all in on the second free agency. And as you can see, if you see passing leaders right now, the one thing that I did do is I changed the playbook to Kansas City, Andy Reid. It just makes all the difference in the world. So offense goes from being so bad to 5th in the NFL. It's an exploit. And then defensively, instead of being a top 10, top 5 defense, it actually plummeted a little bit. So that kind of sucks to see, but it is what it is. But yeah, Richardson 43-11, just much more efficient. You change the playbook, it just changes everything, man. It just does. So Khalil Herbert, 5 touchdowns. Kareem Hunt, 8 touchdowns. And then receiving, you had Gio Harper with 13 touchdowns, 1,100 yards. So he was amazing. Reese, Pittman, Herbert, Gabe Davis all got involved. So yeah, just a much better playbook, man. It just is. 7.5 from Kenny Clark, 5.5, and then interceptions for Kenny Moore. And then Greenlaw with 2, who we invested in heavily, 122 tackles. So at least in this year, he was worth it. But going forward, as we get down the road, it may not be as worth it. But let's go ahead, jump into our first playoff game of the video. We're playing the Baltimore Ravens. Anthony Richardson versus Lamar Jackson. Let's see who the better rushing quarterback is. So as I said, we're at home for this game because we won our division, which is amazing to see. So let's go ahead and see if we can take advantage of home field advantage. And we go up 7-0. We get an interception from Blackman. We're up 14-0 on the Baltimore Ravens. Another interception from the guy we signed in free agency. Right now, we're absolutely just busting down the Ravens. Can we keep it up? 24-7. So far, we're looking good. And I think it's safe to say Unless we let the Ravens come back in this game, which is still very possible, so I guess I won't rule it out. But 14-35, and yeah, I think it's game over. We're putting up so many points, man. The Chiefs playbook is just such a cheat code in the simulation. So we're going to go ahead, feel pretty good about that first victory. Moving on to divisional weekend. That was almost too easy. And now we head to Cincinnati to play another NFC North opponent for this divisional round. So let's go ahead and see if we can come out here and take down the Bengals. It's a rainy day as we start up 7-0, but the Bengals quickly respond. No surprise there, but we respond again. Interception to take a 17-7 lead. Another, oh, not a missed field goal this time. 24-7 lead to start this game. Now, we're not out of it just yet. The Bengals are one of those teams you just can never doubt in a game, I feel like. So, but hey, right now, we're up 38-24. The Bengals could easily get back in this game, but I think, okay, hopefully we can keep this lead here. Yeah, we do. So just like that, we take down the Bengals. So that was kind of scary. I thought they may come back, but hey, we're headed to, looks like maybe Kansas City to play them. Maybe we're home. Maybe they are. We shall see. We take down the Ravens. We take down the Bengals. And now it's time to go play the Chiefs. So we'll see how we do against them. So we actually have the same record as the Kansas City Chiefs, but they must have a tiebreaker on us because they're the home team here. So 11-6 for them, 11-6 for us. And we're playing on a snowy day. Anthony Richardson versus Patrick Mahomes. We're also using their playbook, so let's go ahead and see how this goes. They're going to go up 7-0 on us. Despite nothing, if we don't win this game, I'm still very proud of how far we came from where we started in year one. So 10-14, 10-21. We're going to need to respond quickly, which we do. 17-28. I mean, it's just been back and forth scoring ball games for all these games we've been in. We kind of jumped early on the Ravens, but it looks like the Chiefs might have our number here. So we may have come this far, but I think the Chiefs might be taking us out. So yeah, they put up a 50 burg on us, bro. 31-52. So unfortunately for us, we make it all the way to the AFC Championship, but we drop to the Chiefs. No surprise there, but hey, we went from, you know, having Anthony Richardson throw 30 touchdowns to throwing 30 interceptions to throwing 40. He went from throwing 30 interceptions to 40 touchdowns in the very last season. So I will take that. Unfortunately, come up short to end the video, but I hope you guys enjoyed it regardless. Where do you guys think Jonathan Taylor will be traded? Will he be, if he'll be traded anyway? So we'll see what happens out of it. And if he does actually get traded and it was to like a random team we never even thought of course, I'll do a rebuild on that when it happens, if it does. But thank you guys for watching. As always, this is Crushable 2. I'm saying peace. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you click here to watch another video that I know you'll love.